Your brain is shrinking right now, not metaphorically, literally. After the age of 60, the human brain loses roughly 0.5% of its volume every single year, and the regions that go first are the ones responsible for memory, focus, and decision-making. But here's what the research is showing. That process is not entirely out of your control. There are 5 seeds, small, overlooked, and almost never talked about in the context of neurological health, that contain specific compounds your aging brain uses to slow down exactly that kind of deterioration. Not reverse it, slow it, protect it, and most adults over 60 are getting none of them consistently. Before we get into the 5 seeds, I want to ask you something. Drop it in the comments right now. Where are you watching this from? Tell me your city, your state, your country. I genuinely want to know who's here with me today, and later in this video I'm going to be reading and responding to those comments. So let me know, where in the world are you taking care of your health right now? Alright, let's get into it. The first seed is flaxseed, and if you're already familiar with it, I want you to hold on because most people only know about half of the story here. What makes flaxseed so neurologically significant for aging adults is its extraordinarily high concentration of alpha-linolenic acid, which is a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. Now here's the thing about the aging brain that most health content never addresses directly: the myelin sheaths that insulate your nerve fibers, the structures that allow electrical signals to travel quickly and accurately between neurons, begin to degrade after your 50s. This is not a dramatic event. It's gradual, and it's one of the core biological mechanisms behind the cognitive slowdown that so many older adults experience and quietly accept as inevitable. Omega-3 fatty acids are structurally essential for myelin maintenance, and beyond that, research published in nutritional neuroscience journals has consistently linked alpha-linolenic acid intake to reduce neuroinflammatory markers, specifically the kind of chronic low-grade brain inflammation that accumulates silently over decades and is now understood to be one of the most significant risk factors for age-related cognitive decline. But flaxseed also contains something else that very few people connect to brain health: lignans. These are phytoestrogen compounds with potent antioxidant properties. And oxidative stress in neural tissue, the cellular damage caused by free radicals accumulating in brain cells, is one of the primary drivers of neurodegeneration. Lignans help neutralize that process. The important thing to understand about flaxseed and absorption is that your body's ability to access these compounds is directly connected to how well your digestive system processes the outer hull. This is purely a bioavailability issue, a neurological one, not a culinary one. Your cells need access to what's inside. The second seed is pumpkin seed, and this one is arguably the most mineral-dense option on this entire list. When we talk about brain health in older adults, we almost never talk about zinc, and that is a significant oversight in mainstream wellness education. Zinc is directly involved in neurotransmitter regulation, synaptic signaling, and the modulation of glutamate, a neurotransmitter that, when dysregulated, contributes heavily to excitotoxic damage in aging brain tissue. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest plant-based sources of zinc available, but that's not the only reason they belong on this list. Pumpkin seeds also contain high concentrations of magnesium, which plays a critical role in neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form and strengthen new neural connections. Research in cognitive neuroscience has consistently demonstrated that magnesium deficiency in older adults correlates with impaired learning, memory consolidation difficulties, and increased vulnerability to stress-induced cognitive impairment. And the data on magnesium deficiency in adults over 60 is striking. The majority are not getting adequate amounts from their diet alone. There's also a meaningful amount of tryptophan in pumpkin seeds, which is a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. Sleep quality is one of the most powerful determinants of brain health as we age. During deep sleep, the glymphatic system, essentially the brain's own waste clearance mechanism, is most active, flushing out amyloid beta proteins that accumulate in neural tissue. Supporting deep restorative sleep is a genuine neuroprotective strategy, and pumpkin seeds contribute to that biochemical pathway. Real quick, I'm seeing people already dropping comments about where they're watching from, and I love it. Keep it coming. Tell me your location and also tell me, have you ever intentionally incorporated seeds into your wellness routine, or is this completely new information for you? I read every single comment on this channel, seed number 3, and I told you this one was going to shift your perspective on neuroinflammation, so let's go there. Hemp seeds contain one of the most favorable omega-6 to omega-3 ratios found in any whole food source. The ratio is approximately 3 to 1, and that matters enormously in the context of brain inflammation. Here's why. In most Western dietary patterns, adults are consuming omega-6 to omega-3 ratios closer to 15 or even 20 to 1. That chronic imbalance activates pro-inflammatory signaling pathways throughout the body and in the brain that translates to elevated levels of inflammatory cytokines that interfere with neuronal function, disrupt neurotransmitter balance, and accelerate cellular aging in the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, the two regions most associated with executive function and memory. Hemp seeds also contain gamma-linolenic acid, a specific type of omega-6 that actually functions as an anti-inflammatory rather than a pro-inflammatory compound, which is biochemically unusual and clinically significant. Beyond their fatty acid profile, hemp seeds are a complete protein source, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids. Why does that matter for brain health? Because amino acids are the raw materials your brain uses to synthesize virtually every neurotransmitter it relies on. Dopamine, serotonin, GABA, norepinephrine, all of them are built from amino acid precursors. When the brain has access to a complete amino acid spectrum, neurotransmitter production is more stable, mood regulation improves, and cognitive fatigue, that mental heaviness that many older adults describe as brain fog, becomes less frequent. Seed number 4 is sunflower seeds, and the primary reason they're on this list is vitamin E. Vitamin E is one of the most important fat-soluble antioxidants in neuroprotection, and sunflower seeds are among the highest whole food sources of it anywhere in the nutritional world. Here is why that matters specifically for aging neural tissue. The brain is approximately 60% fat by dry weight. That means it is inherently vulnerable to a specific type of cellular damage called lipid peroxidation, where free radicals attack and oxidize the fatty acids within neuronal membranes, degrading their structural integrity and impairing function. Vitamin E is biologically positioned within cell membranes to interrupt this process before it cascades. It's a chain-breaking antioxidant, meaning it doesn't just neutralize one free radical, it stops a chain reaction. Multiple longitudinal studies examining cognitive aging in adults over 60 have found that higher dietary vitamin E intake is associated with meaningfully slower rates of cognitive decline, particularly in verbal memory and processing speed. Sunflower seeds are also a significant source of B vitamins, particularly B1, thiamine, which is essential for glucose metabolism in neural tissue. The brain is an intensely metabolically active organ. It consumes a disproportionate share of the body's glucose relative to its size. Thiamine is a required cofactor in that metabolic process, and thiamine insufficiency, even subclinical insufficiency that doesn't present as overt deficiency, is associated with impaired attention, mental fatigue, and reduced cognitive endurance in older adults. Pause right here. I want you to do something. Go to the comments and tell me, which of these 4 seeds so far were you already aware of, and which one surprised you? I'll be honest, seed number 5 is the one that surprises most people. Don't leave yet. The 5th seed is chia, and what makes it genuinely remarkable in the context of neurological aging is a combination of factors that work synergistically rather than individually. First, hydration and brain function. This sounds simple, but it is profoundly underappreciated in the aging population. The brain is approximately 75% water. Even mild dehydration, the kind that doesn't register as thirst in older adults because thirst sensitivity diminishes significantly with age, measurably impairs cognitive performance. Attention span, short-term memory recall, and reaction time all deteriorate under mild dehydration states. Chia seeds have a unique capacity to absorb many times their own weight in fluid and release it slowly, which contributes to sustained cellular hydration over time. This is a physiological mechanism and it has direct relevance to brain function. Second, chia seeds are exceptionally high in soluble fiber, which feeds the beneficial bacteria of the gut microbiome. And the gut-brain axis, the bidirectional biochemical communication pathway between your gastrointestinal tract and your central nervous system, is one of the most transformative frontiers in neuroscience right now. Research over the past decade has established that the composition of your gut microbiome directly influences the production of neurotransmitter precursors, the regulation of the vagus nerve, and the modulation of neuroinflammation. A fiber-starved microbiome is a neurologically compromised microbiome. Chia seeds directly address that. Third, chia seeds contain a meaningful concentration of ALA omega-3 fatty acids, similar to flaxseed, as well as calcium, phosphorus, and manganese, all of which contribute to the structural health of neurons and the efficiency of synaptic transmission. The combination of hydration support, microbiome nourishment, anti-inflammatory fatty acids, and essential mineral density makes chia seeds arguably the most comprehensively neuroprotective item on this entire list. So let's bring this all together. What these 5 seeds share, flaxseed, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, and chia, is that they each address a distinct biological mechanism involved in cognitive aging. Neuroinflammation, oxidative stress in neural tissue, neurotransmitter synthesis, myelin integrity, gut-brain axis function, cellular hydration. These are not isolated concerns, they are interconnected systems. And the reason brain health declines in older adults is rarely one single cause. It's the accumulation of neglected signals across multiple systems simultaneously. What the research tells us, and this is consistent across nutritional neuroscience literature, is that dietary patterns rich in diverse plant-based fats, antioxidants, B vitamins, minerals, and prebiotic fiber are among the most evidence-supported strategies for maintaining cognitive function into the later decades of life. These 5 seeds, incorporated intentionally into a daily wellness routine, represent a meaningful, accessible step toward that goal. Your brain is not static, it is metabolically active every second of your life, and it responds, deeply and measurably, to what you give it. Before you go, I want to hear from you one more time in the comments. Tell me where you're watching this from, your city, your state, your country. And tell me one thing, after everything you just learned today, which of these 5 seeds are you going to start being more intentional about? Write it down in the comments, not just for me, write it for yourself. Because the moment you commit to it publicly, even in a YouTube comment, you've taken the first real step. If this video gave you something valuable today, share it with someone in your life who is navigating their health in their 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond. They deserve to have this information. And if you're not subscribed yet, this channel is entirely dedicated to evidence-based, practical wellness content. For adults who refuse to accept that cognitive and physical decline is just something that has to happen to them. Subscribe, come back, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of your brain because it is the most vital organ you will ever have.